Hi, Kendra Ruth here from The Hero Spouse, here to answer one of your questions about midlife crisis in your marriage. Today we have an anonymous left behind spouse. Her bomb drop was September of 2019. Date of marriage is 2008. She has a high energy replayer and he is an off and on. And this is a case where we have a very involved affair down alienator who is trying to insert herself into custody battles and issues with the children. She says, do they even recognize that we're being kind and that we're steady and not letting them blow up all of our lives? Does it have an impact? The alienator finally dropped her mask that she emphasized, they would be filing custody, yada, 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 to the point that he can't explain it away. She made him declare to our family court officer that he's giving up custody. Visitation rights, scheduling, kids, birthdays, and holidays, all to protect the alienated, to protect her. And I didn't react. Good for you. I'm not buying it. I'm sticking to the schedule, and he has too. Good for him. That's what I'm more impressed with at this point, given the emotional blackmail that she layers on. It's unsustainable at court. The alienator will probably push, as he declared, she's not putting her life second to our schedule. I won't push, and it's also in our kids' best interest. But does he notice? Does he notice the impact on them? Now that she's finally being an egg. Well, I think he's been noticing. It's not about whether you notice or not. It's about whether you take action against that. So he's been noticing, and he was the one who came in and has followed the schedule. He was the one who had to feel forced in front of a family court officer. I mean, how humiliating would I feel? Especially, if, that other person that I'm dating, that it's a betrayed, that I'm having an affair with, she said I have to say this. The way that comes out, it's embarrassing. And yet he's following along and doing it. So there's some sort of payoff. And I don't think it's a positive payoff. It's an avoidance payoff. What is he trying to avoid? The conflict that he's trying to avoid with her is what it is. The payoff is she won't get mad. She won't get upset. She won't take it out on me. She won't blame me. I won't feel guilty because she's using all of the emotional blackmail on him. But I think that there's an impact on that, but right now the impact is this: lowering. He's being beaten down and beaten down and beaten down. At what point is he going to bounce back up? That's what we can't say. Some people just get pounded down and down and down. So you're waiting for him to bounce back up, and you're asking if that's happening. Is the impact him bouncing back up yet? You're going to have to wait and see till that happens, till he starts standing up and defending. The conflict might increase then, or he'll just cut it off very quickly and say we're done. But so far he hasn't shown to have that sort of backbone. The emotional blackmail and his fear, both too strong. And you're doing everything right. He notices. And I feel terribly for him, to a degree. But I do, because he's feeling so much guilt. He's being told everything is his fault and you're responsible for this. And what he's responsible for is making her life okay, making her life good, doing what she wants, what she tells him. She's extremely controlling. And he doesn't know how to handle that other than to give in to her. And what would happen if you were that way? First thing, it would just create conflict. It would create a battle of wills. And it would create negativity. You're right not to do that. But at this point, it feels like you're going to lose a battle while hopefully winning on a war. Because, you didn't fight for this, or you didn't react and say, no, that's not appropriate. It just, you were responsive and you were polite, but you didn't push for things sometimes. And sometimes it feels like, to her, she's winning. She's not. You just have to sit back, because overall, it is best for your children what you're doing and how you're handling it. I know it's really hard. I know it's frustrating and it's confusing because it doesn't make sense that Why would somebody even think they have these kind of rights? I can understand on a personal level saying, I'm not going to be seconds to your schedule. But the other people that it's their schedule don't have to be seconds to her schedule either. Each schedule can be first to each person that has the schedule. You just have to merge your lives in a way that is respectful to both. But to her, she has to come on top. She has to be ahead of the schedule. It's a competition. And she has to be the winner. And if she's not, she is going to throw a fit. And it seems to me that's the person she has shown herself to be. And you're not going to change that. And you have to let him figure it out. You have to let him experience it. And you have to let the impact have its impact. So he can see what it's doing, but then it has to actually do it. He can't just see the writing on the wall like it's coming. He has to have the evidence that it has come. He has to feel it deeply. And then he has to take responsibility for it. And he's not at that point. Does he see the impact? Sure, he does. These guys, women and men, they aren't all completely blind to what they're doing. They may be in denial. And some of them are able to suppress the knowledge of it better than others. But a lot of it is they have so much guilt, and that is evidence that they do see the damage that they are doing and do feel the guilt and the shame, and they are running from it. He's going to do everything he can to protect her, all of that. And your job is to protect your children, be calm, be grace, and just be a mama bear as much as you can. You're doing a really good job. Thanks for coming, and I will see everybody in the next question.